This year, we've been exploring the financial challenges and opportunities of different generations with Meridian Credit Union. We've already looked at Boomers and Gen X, so today we're focusing in on Millennials with Maryam Mahdavifar, who is an investment specialist with Meridian. So let's move past the tired Starbucks and avocado toast comparisons and really get to the heart of Millennials' financial picture. Welcome to What She Said, Maryam.
Thank you, Candace. Glad to be here.
So, I think millennials, honestly, my impression is they get a bad rap. Usually they get picked on for avocado toast and Starbucks.
Oh, yes.
And that is just so unfair. So let's talk about what their real picture looks like for millennials.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, who hasn't heard about the avocado toast and Starbucks and probably what they represent for my generation normally? But I would say that's really stereotyping. But again, every generation has to be known for something, right? I know you were talking about Gen X the previous episode, so a lot of similarities, but also some differences. I'd say with millennials, maybe that avocado toast represents our difference is that we are different from our parents. We are different from baby boomers, basically. And just because the environment in which we grew up was really different. We were the first generation to grow up in internet age, iPhones and all that looking up stuff. We faced, most of us at least, when we graduated out of university, going to the working life, we faced the recession in 2008. So normally that gets us stuck and longer, lower paying jobs. So those are a little bit of the common struggles and challenges, but we also have common values that I might just want to touch on today with you, and just kind of see what helps and what are some common themes that millennials are both as a generation using to improve their lives.
There's a little doubt that we're all facing financial struggles right now. And I'd like to talk about what millennials are looking at right now in terms of the struggles and then maybe where there's some opportunity for them, because I'm Gen X. I'm a little bit further along the line and my opportunities to, sort of build wealth are diminishing as I get older. What are the opportunities millennials have right now?
Yeah, sure. So I believe a cornerstone of every success, whether personally or financially, basically that we're going to talk more about today, is having a plan. So we all value that convenience and peace of mind of that sense of well-being. So I think having that plan, which we've talked about numerous times in different channels, is really important. And it's sometimes undervalued, but especially my generation, things that gets forgotten or not prioritized. So if you have that working budget, if you have that again, financial plan, which I'm going to use a lot today, you probably are going to be better off in terms of extending your wealth, making sure it's lasting for you as long as you'd need it to.
And one of the things I think that's really interesting about specifically your generation is because you said, you're sort of born on the internet. It all sort of happened for you on the internet, which means you have access to information, but maybe too much information when it comes to financial advice, which can be very confusing, which I think is where a financial advisor is probably a really good idea because there's so much to wade through otherwise.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's really easy. Internet has made it really easy for us to look up stuff. I want to know how to make a pumpkin pie fresh at home. I just look it up. It's really easy. I don't need to go buy a book for it. But on the other hand, like you said, overwhelming amount of information, contradictory point of views, like people come into my office being really lost, and there's no shame about it because you are lost when you're simply want to choose between two different types of savings accounts. RSPs or TFSA, or retirement savings or tax-free savings account. Which one should I choose? So you're faced with a lot of overwhelming and different kinds of information where a financial advisor can actually talk to you, ask you questions, know what your priorities as a unique individual is, and maybe the one type of account is better for you and the other type is going to be better for somebody else in in a different situation. So you're absolutely right. A financial advisor can take all those doubts out, help you. They have experience. They've met with a lot of people probably in similar situations, and they can definitely help you out with that.
And, I've had Dilys DeCruz on many times on the show. And one of the things she always says, and I love when she says this, is if, you don't trust your financial advisor, get a new financial advisor. And that's the beauty of finding somebody that you can connect with, who understands your story and understands what you're demanding. And speaking of that, I think there's something else that's really incredible. I want to sort of prop up millennials here because, again, that bad rap, you're really socially conscious about where you're investing your dollars. I think that's super important.
Yes, absolutely. So responsible investing has been a big theme in the past few years. It has always been around 30 years plus, but really come to the forefront in the past few years. And I see that it speaks a lot with millennials. So when they come to my office, want to put their money towards their future, other than getting a good return, their next question is, so what am I investing in? Is this fund ESG friendly, which is environmental, social, and corporate governance wise? So we want to make a positive impact with our money as well as saving for future. For example, if your advisor told you that, hey, by this $200 a month that you're putting away, you're funding a micro loan, microfinance company that's supporting female entrepreneurs to fund their business, right? So that makes you feel good about your investing as well, which is really powerful to me. So if you find that advisor that they share the same values with you, they know how to explain ESG, responsible investing, I think you're set. You're set for saving up in a good plan.
Okay. So you said though that also, because I think when boomers, my parents probably invested, I don't know that they ask those questions. How out front are you with this information? Is it easily accessible for people who want to invest? Like, does Meridian share all of this out front?
Yes, so we're a big platform. Our CEO is a really big advocate of ESG and responsible investing. But if people don't ask their advisors, I know from the advisors that work with me, we normally bring that up. Here is the other profits. Here are the other positive impacts you're making with your investments. So we actually open it up and say, hey, did you know this investment, it's ESG friendly. So I do that certainly for sure. And I can't speak for all the advisors out there, but Meridian is a big advocate, that's for sure.
All right, excellent. So what are you seeing for millennials going into 2023? What do you think their biggest concerns are going to be?
So I find it really difficult to stick to a plan, especially when interest rates are going up like this. And also we all have a certain amount of debt. So that definitely impacts our budgets. Going into 2023, I would say it's even more important to review that budget. It's even more important to have those buckets and make sure you don't spend more than you make. Or if you do, make sure you pay it off at the end of the month or not the next month at the very least. So I'd say that budget, and it speaks to people around my age, my friends, very well, that if you stick to that budget, you're going to be good, but review it. It has to be working. Don't just put it up on the fridge on your computer and just leave it, right? It won't work that way. So that's my one advice for people my age, that meet with your financial advisors regularly, make sure you're on plan, and make sure you're not missing out on your opportunities for savings.
All right, incredible. I think budget is going to be something every generation is going to be getting very familiar with in 2023. So this applies to everybody. Maryam, I can't thank you enough for joining me today. This is incredibly helpful.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.